Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So what we're gonna do is, so Route 53 is all about routing related things, correct, guys? So what we do is, let us take that first example of the load balancer for the simple routing. Do you remember simple routing policy? Do you remember the simple routing policy, guys? What is a simple routing policy? What we do is, we'll create a EC2 instances with our sample script, and then we'll have a load balancer. So once we have the load balancer, we have the nasty URL, right? So we'll map that nasty URL to our some domain. Let's do the practicals. You understand? Everyone understood what I'm gonna do? So the one which we know already, we launched two EC2 instances with user data, and we create a load balancer. And load balancer will have a nasty URL, right? So that nasty URL will do the makeup in the Route 53. Okay. How do we create a record in Route 53? That we'll learn. Guys, can you please confirm you all understood what we're gonna do? Okay. So this is normal where you have already done this. So let me go ahead and quickly launch two EC2 instances. I call it as maybe server one. CMS. Red Hat. T2 macro. Pair we have 9am batch. Edit. Yes, we'll put the user data. We'll put 1A existing group default, and then in advanced details, we go ahead and then put the user data. Okay. Copy this and put it here, and we call it as just put it Route 53. We'll just put like that. Yes, we'll use the same user data, and then we launch. And then we launch one more EC2 instance. We call it as server 2. Name 1B default, and we use the same user data here. Launch. Once we have these two EC2 instances up and running, we'll create a load balancer. Meanwhile, let's go and see our security groups. Or what is a protocol that I need to enable in order to access my application? HTTP. Very good. So HTTP, we need to go ahead and then enable it. My IP. Let's wait. So meanwhile, we'll go to Route 53. In Route 53, what we need to do is, guys, in order to do these practicals, you need to purchase a domain, correct? Is it possible to do the Route 53 practicals without domain? No. You need to purchase the domain. Either you purchase the domain in Route 53 or either you purchase the domain in GoDaddy or some other place, or you can there are few websites where they provide you with free domains, free, but you don't get a fancy top level domains. You will get some PK, TK, something like that. So 3 ways you can do it. Either you create from Route 53 or go with GoDaddy or go with the free domains. Okay. But on the left side, do you see this here, registered domains on the left side? So I already have a domain called Riaz AWS Trainer. But how to register a domain? See here, click on register domain. If you want to purchase a domain in Route 53, this is how you should do it. So here, let's say, for example, here, Nagasai. So these are all the top level domains that you have, guys. See how many top level domains you have it here. See, there's so many top level domains. So many top level domains. So whichever the top level domain that you need, you just go and pick it up. So the decent one is, so we have already domain ready. Is there any charges by implementing in AWS? If you have a domain already, you don't need to do anything. Where is your domain? In Route 53, huh? Warren, where is your domain? Okay. By the time he replies, see here. So .com is $13 you need to pay, but this is yearly charge. What is that? It's yearly charge. So per year it is $13. That means it costs about some not more than 1,000 rupees. Correct? 1,000 rupees, right? So 1,000 rupees per year. This is the domain. So if you click on checked, so if you see nagasai.com is not available. So maybe nagasaicloud.com, if you put like this, yes, this domain will be available. So you can use nagasai.com domain for your. So click on add to cart and just provide your contact details and purchase it. This will be added to your account. So this amount will be deducted. So either you go with this and purchase here, or in GoDaddy, I heard it is cheaper in GoDaddy, maybe 300 or 400 rupees. So you go and purchase it. If you don't even want to spend that 300, 400 rupees, so go and get the free domain. Okay. Go and get the free domain. So the only difference is if you purchase any domain in any other like GoDaddy, let's say Varun has his domain in GoDaddy, you don't need to purchase it again. So the only things what you have to do is, we have discussed this. Guys, if you have purchased, okay, let me go one by one. If you have purchased the domain in Route 53, do you need to create the hosted zone as per the theory what we have learned? Yes or no? No need. So if you purchase a domain here on the left side, if you click on hosted zone, this hosted zone is automatically created. You see this? This hosted zone is created. But if you have purchased the domain in GoDaddy, the guys, also we have learned hosted zone name is the same as the domain name, correct? So if you purchase the domain in GoDaddy, will the hosted zone will be created here? No. You need to create the hosted zone by yourself. How? Do you see the create hosted zone? And here it should be name, who is a varun.com, for example. So did we learn we have two types of zones, public hosted zone and private hosted zone? Select the public one and create it. See, once you create the hosted zone, what are the two records that will create automatically? NS and SOA, correct? So if you click on varun.com, do you see this? We have varun.com, right? NS and SOA records created. And I told you NS records is nothing but group of servers. Do you see these 4 servers here? Full of servers. So what you need to do is you need to take these 4 servers and then you need to update this in GoDaddy. Okay. In GoDaddy, if you go to settings, there will be name server settings. Go there and add this one by one in that GoDaddy settings. Okay. So when someone hit varun.com, it will go to the GoDaddy. As the GoDaddy has AWS this NS records, the request will come here in fall in under the Route 53 in this hosted zone. And if you have any records here mapping to the load balancer, that will get routed. Understood? Varun and everyone. Okay. In GoDaddy, you need to update these records, these four lines. Okay. In GoDaddy, you need to update these 4 lines. Okay. So is there any use of varun.com for me here? Because we haven't purchased anything. So delete this. AWS charge anything? Yes, AWS charge $0.50 for the hosted zone. 50 cents per month. Yes, on the free domain also, you need to do the same thing. Apart from Route 53, anywhere, if your domain is outside Route 53, same procedure you need to do. Okay. Is it clear? So I have my riazawstrainer.com. So if I go here, if you see this, I have only 2 domains. I mean, 2 records, NS and SY. Is it possible to delete these 2 records? No. If it is possible also, don't delete it. It doesn't work. But I don't think so. You can delete this. Okay. Now, so these will the default records. So now go to console and make sure that these are all ready. So let us check with the public IP whether if everything is good. The screen share. Where is that? So this is working, right? This is also working. Okay. So now, should we go and create a load balancer now? So I mean, domain from outside implementing here in AWS charges anything? No. AWS will, Varun, you didn't understand. You have a domain in GoDaddy and you're asking, does it charge anything here? Domain charges will be happening in GoDaddy. AWS will not charge for your domain, but AWS will charge for your hosted zone. 50 cents per month. Okay. That's what I meant. Okay, so let's create a load balancer. So this is our application load balancer. Call it as some name, MyLB. You might be super expert by now. If you want to create a load balancer, correct? Existing secret group. Next, call it as, okay, good one. So here call it as some app.tg. Use some name. And here you put index.html. Next, register these 2 targets. So now let's wait until we have the load balancer. Do you see this? This is a nasty URL, correct? Will you give this nasty URL to the customer? No. So we need to do the makeup, right? We need to do the makeup. So this domain, so I want this to be as a some name. So I already have purchased the domain, right? So I have already purchased domain. So is it possible to create CNAME for the with this Riaz with this naked domain? No. So now what we do is we'll do simple routing policy. Simple routing policy meaning, so can I go ahead and create a website called simple.riazawstrainer.com for this my load balancer? If you give some name, no? My website name is provisioning. So let us come up. Guys, what is the name that you will give for this nasty URL? What is the mapping that you do? If you have spandana.com, give spandana.com or simple.spandana.com or admin.spandana. You wish, right? So you have purchased the main domain, subdomain your wish you can give anything, correct? Those are all free under the subdomains are free, correct, guys? It's up to us. So you purchase the main domain and you can create n number of subdomains inside it. So this nasty URL, you can give it to subdomain. We can give it to the naked domain, main domain also, or you can create a subdomain also under it. So we'll create a subdomains. So, but maybe I should have this load balancer up and running. So. Okay, my load balancer active. So I just want to cross check whether this is working or not. Okay, this is working like this. Is it good to give this URL to your customer? No, right? So you have to, first of all, you need to have a domain for your customer, right? Some domain. So just assume that it is a domain. Here's a data. So let's go inside it. Now we need to create a record. Correct, guys? You see this? Click on create record. And here, subdomain. So what is a subdomain that we will give? If you don't give any subdomain, now you can map that that load balancer to riazawstrainer.com. Simple. Right? But if you want to give the subdomain, should we give it as, I'll show you simple routing policy. So should I give you that simple? You can give any name. Guys, you need to be a little bit interactive here because I'm not understanding whether you are understanding or not. Right? So do you all understood this point? Subdomain. Subdomain, you can give any name. But if you don't want to give any subdomain, that you just want to give only riazawstrainer.com, yes, you can give. Don't give anything here. Simple. But so do you remember we have routing policies? So I'll show you what is simple routing policy. So I'm just giving you simple.riazawstrainer.com is my website name. Was a domain name for this URL. Okay. Now record type. So I told you there are so many records available here. A record, right? Yes, you can. We will do that. Which is the record that we should always go with it? So guys, you need to go with the combination of a record and alias record all the time. Keep that in mind. Okay, you have a subdomain here. Can I go with the CNAME also? Yes, you can go. But here, what I'll do is, instead of going with the CNAME, we should go with what? Which one? We need to go with alias, correct? So I'll go with a record, and here do you see alias? So we need to select this alias. Yes. You getting it? If you switch off, alias is, guys, alias is URL to IP address, correct? So if you select, if you don't select alias, so you can give the IP address here directly. But if you select alias, do we have IP address or load balancer with us? load balancer. So if you have load balancer target, you need to select alias. Yes. Yeah. If you want to select target, so you can select the target. We have what we have here. What is that here? Application load balancer, correct? Select alias to application load balancer. Which region we have? Mumbai. Do you see this? This is the load balancer that we have created. Select that. Do you all understood? You all understood? So if I select alias off, I don't, if you have IP address, then give the IP address here. But if you have a target, select the target. 90% you need to go this way only. Go with a record, select alias, and then choose your, if it is Beanstalk, CloudFront, CloudFront also, it will, remember when we create a distribution, it will give the nasty URL, right? CloudFront URL. So select the CloudFront URL, select the CloudFront here. So if you have a whichever it is, you just go with it. We have selected we have learned global accelerator also, right? So we have learned S3 website point also, correct? So now we have application load balancer, select it. In which region? Mumbai region. And this is the one, correct? And then routing policy. By default, it is which routing policy, guys? By default, it will be a simple routing policy. So here we have simple routing policy, geolocation, latency, failover, all these things. So I'm going with the simple routing policy. So guys, in simple routing policy, do we have any health checks? No. But if I selected failover routing policy, do you see this? We have health checks here. Do you see this here? Health check. But I'm going with a simple routing policy, which evaluate target health. This is the health check will be done by the AWS Route 53 itself. So, but we are not giving any health checks. Does everyone understood how to create a record and map it to the load balancer? Take a screenshot of it. Okay. Now click on create record. Guys, now my record has been created. So now instead of this URL, now I can go with what? simple.riazaws.trainer.com. This should work. Guys, this should work. And you get you get this message here is successfully created, and it will take 60 seconds to, guys, because it has to propagate to all the DNS servers in the world. No, all throughout the world, they should know simple.riazaws.com should point to the load balancer. That meaning this Route 53 should go and update this record in all the DNS servers throughout the world. So that will take this time. So now it shows in sync. So now it should work. So I go and click and enter. Do you see this? Guys, do you see this now? So I don't have the nasty URL. I have my domain with this. riazaws.trainer.com your domain, and this subdomain, the name can be anything while creating the record. Okay, now this is called simple routing policy. So guys, if I stop my EC2 instances, my simple dot this URL will work. It doesn't work, correct? Because Route 53 doesn't know this is working or not. Guys, everyone's understood simple routing policy before I go to the next routing policy? Everyone understands CC now? Okay. Now should I delete this simple routing policy? I delete this record. I deleted. That is simple routing policy. Now let us talk about failover routing policy. Okay. Failover routing policy. So I'm closing all this. Okay. Failover routing policy. Now failover routing policy meaning what? What is that failover routing policy? We need to have two setups. So we need to have two setups. Either you can have a setup in Mumbai and you have another setup in some other region, correct? Do we already have a setup in Mumbai now? So we have used that for simple, but we have the infrastructure ready, no, with the load balancer. Yes. So the same infrastructure you can create it in another region called Ireland or in any other region, but we have already did that. So can we do a little bit differently with the S3 as a secondary site with maintenance page? Okay, my primary site is ready. I already have the infrastructure. I'm reusing it. So should I keep my secondary infrastructure? So should I create a S3 bucket and upload a maintenance HTML and enable static website hosting? So I'll keep my S3 bucket ready now. See. So create bucket. So guys, the bucket name should be same as your website name. It's always good to have like that. So what is the subdomain that should we give it for failover routing policy? Should I give failover.riazawstrainer.com for this example? You understand why I'm giving like this? Bucket name can be anything, but in real time, if we have hundreds of bucket, how do you identify your website bucket? So if you give like this, it will be always it's good for you to recognize it in real time. So ACLs enable. So there is upcoming changes here. See here, guys, upcoming permission changes to enable ACLs. Starting April, to enable ACLs when creating buckets by using S3 console, you must have the S3 colon put this permission should be there. Okay, watch out. ACLs enable. And if I want to become a public, uncheck this. Okay. Create. Should I go and upload maintenance.html page here? So I already have a maintenance page here. A small HTML page, guys. You can put it in Notepad saying that, hey, work in progress, we'll get back soon. And then save it as maintenance page .html. So upload it. And then we need to make it public. Make public. And then go to properties and enable the website hosting. So we have here maintenance.html. Okay, that is a page that we have. Guys, everyone understood? Let's see if this is working. Okay. Guys, everyone understood how I set up the secondary site? We have a primary site, which is my actual application on the load balancer. If that goes down, automatically should go to this secondary site. Is this clear? Before I go and create a routing, before I create a record. The secondary site can be anything. I'm just going differently and showing you maintenance page. Can you have the secondary site also in another region with the same setup? Yes, you can have it. Correct. So now let's go to and create a record. How do we create a record? Click a create record. Guys, is always do a hard refresh because the target should get loaded. No. Okay. This time, what is the thing that we thought to give? Failover.riazawstrainer.com. Correct. A record. Alias should be yes or no. Alias yes. And how many records we should create? Tell me. Two. One is primary and second one is secondary. Correct. So now we are creating primary. So primary meaning which one? Load balancer. Hey. Primary meaning where application load balance. No. Primary. If someone is hitting, it will go to the load balancer first. So select load balancer. Is this point clear? Zabair. And region Mumbai load balancer. We take it. And routing policy. Which one we need to select? Failover routing policy. And failover record type. Which one? Primary, secondary, this record. This record is primary. We are creating a record and saying this is primary. Guys, health checks. You can create your own health checks. Do you see on the left side you have health checks? You can create your own health checks, or we'll ask AWS to do the health checks. Route 53 to do the health checks. Up to you. I'll also show you how to create a health checks. Don't worry, but I'm going with this guy. And record ID, call it as Mumbai primary. Give some name to identify the record. Everyone understood the primary record? How do I create primary record? Take the screenshot. And here, and we need to create one more record, no? Either you click on create record and come back, or do you see this add another record? So click on add another record. So the domain name should be the same or different for the secondary site. Oh, yeah. Same, correct. Andre, what happened to you? Kiran, when you are accessing http://andres.com, you are accessing this and you are getting the good nice page. And if page went down, this URL should change to the customer. Then you said, why you said different? So you should have the same name, but instead of this, you should have a maintenance page. This should get redirected here. So we should create two records, one record which is pointing to the load balancer. We need to create with the same URL, same record, we need to create now pointing to the secondary one. So now it should be failover, same name as we have given here, and alias yes. This time, what is our second record we are pointing to? S3. Very good. And which region we have it in? Mumbai. Which is the endpoint? Do you see this endpoint? We have got it here. Select this. Routing policy is failover. And this record type is secondary record. And give the name. Call it as S3 secondary. Did everyone understood? Everyone understood how to set up failover routing policies? So I'm just going and clicking on create records. Now we got two records here. So how do you access now? It will take little bit time, no? So view status, it is pending. Let's wait. Pending, pending, pending. Okay, now it is in sync, right? Now it is gone. So now I go with failover.riaz AWS trainer.com. Boom. Do you see that? Guys, do you see this? So this is now pointing to the which site, primary or secondary? Primary. So now, how do I get secondary? Let's say this is my website, customer is accessing it. And all of a sudden, boom, all my instances are down. Stop. What is migrate a server? Okay, stop. I'm stopping it. These guys are adding new things. Okay, so these are stopping. So I'm just simulating what happens if your entire site is down, right? In the backend, I'm just going and stopping all these things. So if you go to load balancer, I mean target groups, in targets it shows unused, correct? So my primary site is down now, correct? The primary site is down, right? So if my primary site is down, the same URL, so customer, the same URL will not change. But if you try to access something, this will not work. Now, if I refresh, what should I get? Yes, let's do. So service unavailable. So okay, is that cached? So I go and open in new window. Yes, that was cached on my laptop. Okay, do you see this here now? The same page. Now it says server down, working progress, will get back soon. The same URL. So customer will get like this. See here, guys, automatically within fraction of seconds, right? If you have a secondary site with the same ELB concept, your site will go down. If it go down also, you will get the same page, same website from which is redirected from the other secondary site. Everyone understood, guys? Mm-hmm. There is a question. Why did create two EC2 instances, sir? What? You're asking why did I create a two EC2 instance here? Srinivas P. So that meaning you have not even touched the practicals. You haven't even done the practicals on EC2. 100%. So that's a questions that you will get if you don't do the practicals. So everyone knows this. You need two EC2 instances in order to do the high availability load balancing. But anyways, others, everyone understood? Yes, obviously it will go back. Shravan. So that is on failover routing policy. So now I'll just clean up everything. Okay. So next is I'll show you geolocation. Okay. Guys, all these options are delete record. You can import it. You can filter it. You can delete. You can test the record. You can log it. All these are normal. Okay. So I'm just going and deleting the records. And now I don't have any records. I'm fresh here. So I'm just going and deleting these buckets also. Delete bucket configuration. Yeah, I'll show it. Okay, S3. And here in EC2, I'm terminating all these EC2 instances. Okay, I'm making it clean. And I'm deleting load balancers target groups also. I'll show you a bit different now. Delete. Okay, these are terminated and load balancer is gone. And this guy is somehow, this guy is gone. So now I'm fresh. Yes. Okay. Now what I do for geolocation routing policy. Okay. Geolocation routing policy. Now tell me, who guys, anyone outside India here? Anyone from US or Canada or anywhere? Just put Just put your country names. Where are you? Except India. All are from USA, UAE. Okay. Okay. Let's take this USA guys example. So what I do, I'll go and launch one EC2 instance in USA. Okay. And I put the same index.html. You're from Canada. Okay. Index.html here. Okay. And I call it as, hey, this is from US. Okay. Then go and launch this one. I can launch it in US. And I can go and launch one more EC2 instance, which is in India. That meaning Mumbai. I'll also go ahead and then put index.html. And in the index.html, I call it as, hey, this is from Mumbai. Okay. Now I'll create two records with the name called geo.riaz AWS trainer.com. Okay. So when I access this, if US guy, let's say Andre, access this URL, he should get reply from where? From this. If I access the same thing, geo.riaz AWS, same URL, I should get it from Mumbai. Correct? So Route 53 is finding out the record is coming from which location and is redirecting to that particular EC2 instance. Should we do this practical now? Okay, let's do that. This time I'll show you with the IP address. Okay, I showed you with the load balancer. Now so now tell me one EC2 instance I need to create it in Mumbai, correct? Okay, let me create it in Mumbai instance. Okay. So here, browse. Select this, Red Hat. So in advance, oh, I don't have that. Copy, call it, and I call it as, hey, this is from Mumbai. Okay. Launch. So should I use one more tab and I go to which region? Oh, in US we have so many here. Which one you guys are in? North Virginia, US East. Anyone from Virginia, or which place you are from? East, West. Andre from Ohio. Okay, so let's go with Ohio. So this is a real time and I'm doing it. So let's go to EC2 and go and launch EC2 instance. I don't have any key pairs, I think here. Okay, Ohio is there somehow. Okay, so I'll go and launch instance. I call it as US instance. Browse. Select to the micro. Oh, here. Edit. I go with to existing default. And go and put this, and I call it as, hey, this is from US. Oh, here. Launch. Okay. So if Andre and US people wants to access it, right? So in my load, in my security group, I need to give the permission, no, to everyone. Otherwise, he cannot access my URL. Correct. So I go and give HTTP anywhere for everyone. So, okay, that was there already. So here also, anyways, here I will access my Mumbai wala, I will access it. Okay. So let's see our EC2 instances are Mumbai instance. This is working or not. Let's see first. Okay, this is working. And we'll make sure the other guy is also working. It says running. It's initializing still. Let's wait. Yeah. Thank you, Tomika. So this is still initializing. Okay, this is working. Okay, so now see here, guys. So we have geolocation routing policy, right? It is based on location HAN, not on latency. Okay, now we need to create. Let's go to hosted zone, and now we need to create how many records? 2 records. Number 1. So call it as geo. Give some name. So now we have the IP addresses, no? So alias, I'm not selecting it. So we need to create two. One is from Mumbai. So copy the public IP and then paste it here. I'm going with IP address now to show you how to do with IP. So TTL is basically, guys, this one. So Andre is trying to access this website, correct? And when he first time go and access Geo, this one, whatever is there in Route 53, that IP address record will go and come and sit in this browser. For how much time? That is TTL. If you give TTL as 5 minutes, or if TTL as 10 minutes, or whatever minutes, so this request will not go back to Route 53 because the TTL is, you have mentioned as 5 minutes, IP address will be stored in your browser for 5 minutes. But if I change any IP address in the backend, that will not work for you. So the lower the TTL value, the good it is for you. Okay. So go give it 1 minute. Okay. So here I'll go with 1 minute. Okay. You can give based on the requirement, you can give it. Okay. So now here routing policy, this time I should go with what? Geolocation. Okay. This IP address is related to which location? The one which I'm creating it? Mumbai. So choose that location. No Mumbai. India. Okay. I just put select India. So health check ID, we haven't created any health checks. So if required, we can go ahead and create. How do we create? Let's go here, right click. This is how you, sorry. This is how you create a health check. See, on the left side, you click on health checks, give that IP address. Give that index.html. That's it. You can go with the IP address or you can go with the domain name. If it is ELB, go with the domain name. If you have IP address concept, go with the IP address concept. Okay, this is IP address. Sorry, the name you call it as Mumbai Health Check. The name again Mumbai Health Check. You give the IP address here. If it's domain name, give the domain name and give it. And if you want, that's it. Click on next. If you want to get notified, if this URL fails, you should get notified. Then click on, if you want, yes, no, create health checks. This is how you create a health check. After a few seconds, this will become healthy. See, the status will become healthy because that link is working, no? we just created. Health checkers, it will do all the health checkers. See, connection time out yet. So the endpoint is not ready. So from each and every region, it will do the health checks. Do you see this now? It is healthy, correct? Like this, you can create a health checks. If just in case, if this goes down, you will get notified. So you can use that health checks here if required. This health checks. Okay. If you want to do the health checks, you want latency as well as failover. So you want to combinations, then you need to go to and do the health checks here. Okay. So here I call it as Mumbai Geo. Give it some name. Do you all understood how to create a geolocation? First record, and we need to create another record, add another record. And I need to give the same name called geo because I given the same name here. And alias, I should give which IP address now? US. This guy. Okay. TTL and here geolocation. And location, which is a location? Ohio. Ohio. Yeah, Ohio. So here, call it as Ohio Geo. Let's take the screenshot of these two records for Geo. Because this will be really helpful in your real time. Okay. And then take the second record also. Record 2. Generally, it should create like this, guys. If it doesn't run, don't tell me. It will take a little bit time to work from US if you try to access the URL. Let's see. Okay, done. So let's click on create records. Guys, the records got created, and let's view the status. Now it is in sync. So now let's go ahead. I just open a new thing. geo.riaz.aws.trainer.com. Let's see if I hit, I should get it from where? Mumbai. So now I want Ohio guy, Andre. So I'm just giving the URL to you. Can you open this URL and then see and paste the output here in the chat? Andre, you're testing? It will take a little bit time, probably. So guys, in real time, if you want to do this test, you can launch one EC2 instance in Ohio itself, and then Windows EC2 instance, you can access from there. Technically, you will be in US, right? So, Andre, are you in Office Network or VPNs? Check that out. Because it is working for me, obviously it should work for you also. Okay. This link will not work for you, City. Okay, I just put the link there because it is from Ohio. So those who are in India, it will not work because I haven't enabled HTTP anywhere in my Mumbai security group, right? So those who are accessing from India, for you it doesn't work. For me only it work. I know you also, you are technical much as what is, you know, right? It's not, but anyways, you are. Huh? Srinivas P is saying, I'm from USA, but it's not working. What is shit you're doing, sir? But the thing is, I have selected the region as Ohio, right? Not USA is a very big one, right? So we have selected Ohio. And there is another thing. There's another thing where I want to show you. Let me go and edit this. Edit record. Where is that? Location. So guys, if you don't know, okay, now I have Andre from Ohio. Ohio people I want separate, and rest of the people I need to redirect to some other place or some other page. You go with the default. So default, you go and give something. So default people, right? Yeah, you can use VPN from USA. Yes, you can use. Right? Understood, guys? You can use the default one. So Ohio people want to go to this URL, or Indian people wants to go to this URL, and rest of the people want to go to this URL. But the rest of the people, the location should be default. Okay, you can use that also. Still the same for you, Andre? It's not working. Anyways, so this is how you should be doing it. And guys, for the latency, can you do the latency? Yeah, you can do that, Achyuta Krishna. Krishna, you can do it. I already answered your question. So latency, guys, can you do the practicals on latency? How to do the latency? See, I'll tell you. Launch one EC2 instance in Ireland, right? Launch another EC2 instance in Tokyo. You are in Hyderabad or you are in India. Okay? You are in India, right? Try to access the website. Call it as this is from Ireland, and this is from Tokyo. Okay, and you access the URL here, like latency dot whatever the domain that you are accessing it, access that domain. Now tell me, and use latency routing policy. Use latency routing policy. If you use latency routing policy, tell me you will get the response from Ireland or you will get the response from Tokyo. Huh? Can you do this task? It's very easy. So whichever has a low latency, you will get it either. Technically, which is near? Ireland is near or Tokyo is near for us? I told this again. I'm explaining. See, launch one EC2 instance in Ireland. Launch one EC2 instance in Ireland and put index.html, configure index.html saying that this is from Ireland, and launch one more EC2 instance in Tokyo and call it as this is from Tokyo. And then configure latency routing policy in your Route 53. And then try to access your URL from India. and you will get the response from Ireland or Tokyo. Find it out. Correct. It is depend. So Route 53 will give. So if you do the practical, then you will understand whether it will come from Ireland or Tokyo. Of course, purely it is depend upon the latency. If the latency, whichever has the low latency, you will get response from that region. Will you do it? Okay. So the task for you on this Route 53 is first purchase the domain. Okay. Either you purchase the domain from Route 53, I showed you, or you can purchase the domain from GoDaddy or some other free domain. If you have purchased, do you hear that noise from outside? Right. Okay. Sorry. So, a paper wale okay. So okay. So, what was I talking about? He distracted me. What I was talking? Domain. Right. So domain purchase, you purchase the domain from Route 53, right? If you purchase the domain in Route 53, you don't need to do anything. Just do all the practicals. Normally how I did. If you want to purchase the domain in GoDaddy or some other anywhere, what you need to do is you need to create a hosted zone in our Route 53, take those NS record and update it in GoDaddy or any other website. Update the records. And rest everything you do the records, everything here in Route 53 itself. Okay. The only thing that you should do is update NS record in GoDaddy or some other website, and then do all these practicals. Okay. Any questions? All clear? CC guys, still here, everyone? Just there is something of free norm. Just try it out. Just put it in Google. Yeah. It should access it from your side. Kiran, it should access for sure. There's no way. Or else, if you want to, hey, you are going free domain, you're asking it is safe or not. Something which is really free is not good. But you don't do anything there, no? You're just doing practicals. It's okay. You can do it. Okay. So, guys, if you don't, if you want to use this geolocation, do the same thing. If you want to test it, you need to go and ask Andre or whoever it is in US. You just launch one Windows EC2